Good morning. It is December 31st. Whoa, 2019, man, last day of the year. I have a question for you. Hey, in 2020, are you going to change your world or change your mind? Are you going to change your world or change your mind? Hey, everybody makes New Year's resolutions. We have goals, we have visions, we have desires. And, I want to buy a new house and I want this, and I want to make more money, and I want to be happier, and I want my relationship to be better, and I want to buy this new car, and I want to take, however many vacations. And there's all this stuff. Hey, Aaron, great to see you. All this stuff that we want to create outside of all these things that we want to do. Right? And we see all these things on Facebook of here's how you reach your goals, and here's 5 steps to that, and this steps to that, and all these things we want to do. But here's what I don't hear. Hey, here's a quote from Alan Cohen from A Course in Miracles. And it says, we try to change the world. What's that mean? All these things outside of us. When we're being called to change our mind. We try to change the world when we're really being called to change our mind. Now, there's only one problem that you ever have in your life. You only ever have one problem. I've talked about this before, and that is your level of consciousness. The problems that we experience are related to our level of consciousness. So here we are, we're in a new year, and we have all these things that we want to create, right? And the things that we want to do, but we want to create this new world with the same level of consciousness. And that's why it doesn't work. Only 8%, everybody hears this, 8% of people actually reach their New Year's resolutions. So we set all these goals of all these things we want to do, but we're trying to create with the same level of consciousness, and it doesn't work. Matthew 6:33, seek the kingdom first, right? Seek the kingdom first, then all things will be added. So what do we really have to do? We have to shift from the inside out. Now you hear all this too. Now I did a interview, You're More Powerful interview with Neil Donald Walsh. You can go back and listen to it. It's on Dr. Fred DiDomenico page. And he is a world-class leader, man. Here's a guy that went from being homeless into, he gets a message, has a conversation with God, writes his book, 25 million copies around the world, becomes a world-class spiritual leader. What does he say on this interview? When you listen to this interview, I'm like, wow, Donald, you're Neil, you're changing the world. You're doing all these things. He goes, no, one thing. He goes, I have one goal, and that is to master myself. When I master myself, then the world changes. How about, yes, we can have a vision for all these things we want to create, but how about we have one goal? See, I have all these things I want to do, and that can almost become overwhelming. But if I can do one thing, otherwise, man, you get way too ADD, right? I can do one thing. And if I can master myself, hey, Roberto, love you too, man. I can master myself. Then all these things, when my mindset matches, then all of a sudden, all these things come into place. Now, hey, look, I'm not here saying that I'm freaking brilliant. Everything we learn through pain and through failure. Anybody that's never tried anything new has never failed, right? So unfortunately, our lessons come from more failure than success, but that's how we learn. So if we're going to change what's outside of us, how about if we change what's inside of us first? Seek the kingdom first, then all things will be added. Now, here's the message that I don't hear. Here's 5 steps to achieving goals. How about we have one? Let's master ourselves, right? So I'm going to give you 4 things. 4 things. Now, again, it's not that I'm brilliant. These are things I've learned through my life, through pain, not through pleasure, and from following other spiritual leaders, and from being in prayer, saying, God, please give me wisdom. When you pray for, here's what I found out in my life. When I pray for things, I don't always get answers. When I pray for wisdom, that's when miracles happen, right? When I sincerely pray for wisdom, oh my God, then the mindset changes. Then everything happens. Then your world becomes a vacuum. All these things get sucked into your life. So here's another great one-liner, right, that I've had to learn through pain. Life is a mirror, not a window, right? Life is a mirror, not a window. We want to change our life. We need to look in the mirror. Now, everybody knows that, but not everybody's willing to look in the mirror. Hey, Kurt, Good to see you, brother. So why don't we just look in the mirror? Because Tony Robbins, when you take responsibility, you have the ability to respond. So let's do that. So here's 4 steps. Are you ready? Step 1, we got to release the past. How do you do that? Man, we got to release 2019 to recreate something new in 2020. So here's the most powerful tool for creating new things in your life. 1, forgiveness. Okay, that's where we look in the mirror. Now, hey, I get, man, like 2019 was stressful, and I get Mercury was in retrograde, and I get all that astronomical stuff. And yes, there is energy in the universe. But hey, man, how about if we just forgive ourselves and other people that we feel have offended us? Hey, Sean, great to see you. Have offended us, because forgiveness is letting go of a perceived offense. It's a perceived offense. So what's that mean? What created that perception? We did. We created that perception. So when we understand who we are as a divine being, then we can move to a higher level. We can let go. So Catherine Ponder wrote a book on financial success and dynamic laws of prosperity. And isn't that fascinating that most prosperity books are spiritually based? Isn't that fascinating? What did she say? By letting go of the lesser, you automatically, in other words, it happens without even thinking, make room for the greater good. So 2020, it's the decade of vision, new vision, right? So we got to let go of everything in our past, wash it away from this moment backwards. Thanks, brother. Thanks, Kurt. And then we can let go of that. And now we have room to accept something greater. So how do you release the past? Number 1, the first thing, and this is step 2, is have gratitude. Well, gratitude is the bridge between fear and love, right? Forgiveness is all about perceived affection, perception of fear. We move into love. Fear is gone. Where there's light, there's no darkness. We shine the light into the darkness. There's gratitude. And then we realize there's 3 principles. 2 questions, 3 principles. Number 1, there is no failure. There's only learning, right? So when you understand there is no failure, because if I'm going to create something new, do you think you're going to do something new for the very first time and you're just going to hit a home run right out of the gate? It's not going to happen, right? That's how you develop skill over time, through failure. So number 1, there is no failure. Number 2, the question you ask is, what did I learn? And then 3 is, what am I going to do? So what did I learn? When you find the gift, you release the pain. What did I learn? What am I not only not going to do again, but more importantly, what am I going to do that's different? It's not what's better, it's what's going to be that's different. If you're going to do what's better, you're doing the same thing, you're along the same path. Sometimes we got to get off the path and we have to do what's different, not what's better. So number 1, there is no failure. Number 2, what did I learn? Number 3, what am I going to do? So we got to release the past, forgive, look in the mirror, take responsibility, have gratitude for what we learn. And then number 3, so we have to align our mindset and our spiritual consciousness to match our vision. We have to match our spiritual and emotional consciousness to match our vision, because everything comes in consciousness first. It's mindset and then systems, right? You got to get the mindset and the consciousness. Now, Michael Bernard Beckwith, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith, I'm tripping over myself. There's 4 levels of consciousness, right? Number 1 is victim, things that happen to you. Okay, we need to let go of that. That's looking out the window and not in the mirror. Number two is things that happen by you. That's creative visualization. Really powerful, but that's like the law of attraction, but that's not the highest consciousness. Number 3 is your intuition, things that happen through you. That means you're connected to divinity, and the universe is moving through you. And that's even above, that's intuition. Number 4, the highest level, is things that happen as you. That's merging, meaning you are divine abundance. If you have that vision, it's already inside you. Now you have to match your consciousness and create things from the spirit world to bring them into the physical world. If we're a spiritual being first and we have the vision, that means it's already inside us. Heart energy has 5,000 times the power of mind energy. That means when we take that 18-inch journey from our mind into our heart, We merge, we radiate love out in the universe because you have gratitude. You looked in the mirror, not out the window. We merge and now we radiate into the universe. You have the power to create all things. And now your vision starts to come into play. Now what's number 4? So 1, forgive, release paths. 2, have gratitude. 3, we got to match our mindset and our consciousness. We merge and radiate. Number 4, now we have to match our actions. We have to match, because our consciousness shifts, we match everything outside of us with what we see inside of us. And now we become congruent. Congruency is such a powerful tool between mindset and how we're living our life. Now our physical body becomes a vehicle because we're divinity, incarnated in human form. We channel that divine energy through us, right? And now we merge, radiate from our heart. Everything outside matches. Now your visions and your goal become a vacuum. They become a vacuum. We don't have to push, right? How many people besides me have done that, right? We push for our goals, and then we push ourselves right into overwhelm. How many people besides me have done that? Okay, in February, I'm going to be 59. I don't want any more pain. No, I don't want any more pain anymore. I've done that already. I've carried the boulder uphill, man. I'd rather command it now and watch it roll uphill by itself. I think that's way easier. So what do we got to do? We got to match our conscious, match our actions. So what do you got to do? We got to release 2019. Let it go, man. Let it go. Right? 2, have gratitude. What did you learn? What are you going to do? Number 3, let's match our consciousness to get to that level. 4, let's match everything outside our world to match what's to match what we want to create in our world. Let's match what's inside and let's match everything outside, and we'll bring it from the spirit world into the physical world like that. Let's make it a vacuum, not a struggle. 2020 can be a vacuum, not a struggle. And hey gang, I mean, the things I've learned through my own pain, trust me, I don't claim to be brilliant or be any more evolved or anything more than anybody else. But if I can use my life experiences and the book I wrote, You're More Powerful Than You Think, and this whole system of healed, you can go to youaremorepowerful.com. If you want to raise your consciousness and you need help, go to youaremorepowerful.com. We have a whole online coaching thing. Please interact on Facebook. Please share this around the world, because of all the things on social media that are saying, do this, become this. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You got to match your consciousness, then match all your conditions, and then let's create a vacuum so the divinity and the abundance that's already inside us can happen now. Okay, I love you guys. Have a safe, happy new year. And let's move together and let's transform ourselves and let's help contribute to the lives of others in 2020. Okay, love you guys.